Hi folks, and welcome to a brand new episode of CNB here on the NDTV network. Thanks for joining us. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar, and with me today, the all-new BMW Z4, the Z4 as some people like to call it. We'll have that, and then we've also got the very first look exclusively at the new facelifted 5 Series that's also driving in very soon into our market from BMW. But first, we've got to get started with this car. Sure, it's hot, and well, it's cool too. Very few sports cars aren't. James Bond's ride in GoldenEye, the Z3, was a massive hit for BMW worldwide. And since the first generation arrived in 2002 and then the next generation, which is the current car, in 2009, the Z4 has been a huge hit for BMW as well. How often can I lean on the roof of a car and talk to you? That's how low slung this car is. You've seen it before, huge ample hood, very sporty. It's almost emphasizing the kind of power this car has. That's intentional. You've seen the car before, so I will not go on about the styling. What you are seeing new is the facelift, which is a bit of a tweaking to the front grille and the headlamp cluster. Nice and attractive face, and you've also got the gills on the side which have been redone, if you want to call them that. Lots of chrome, but not offensive. It looks nice. It emphasizes the sporty nature, which is interesting, and I like the way it's been done. The other thing that I'm liking, despite the fact that the car is grey, and usually I'm not a fan of that color, but take a look at this. The two-tone works really well. Looks nice, looks upmarket, and also almost has a retro quality to it. Around the back, the taillight has also been tweaked, but you're not really picking up on too many changes there. The thing you want to know is how the car drives. Well, it's still got its driving credentials, I can tell you. And the other thing you want to know, how it looks with that top down. Let's get on with both of those. So without further ado, let me do the honors. There, looks meaner as a roadster now, doesn't it? There are several variants in both 2 and 3 litre configurations on the Z4. With me today is the S-Drive 28i. This is the most potent of the 4-cylinder variants. The car has an impressive 350 Nm of torque. I got the Z4 out on the road, but due to the dipping temperatures in and around Munich, I had to keep the roof up. The car's 8-speed sport automatic transmission has very soft yet quick changes. The individual gears are finely graduated so that the change takes place with small rev intervals, and the transmission process is barely perceptible. At higher speeds, there are fewer revs due to multiple gears, thus meaning more efficiency. The paddle shift makes it more fun. And yes, all variants of the Z4 have the drive dynamic control system, which allows you to select normal, sport and sport plus modes to adjust the throttle, steering and stability control. But it's the 245 horses I had for company that really made this a fun drive. So nice mean figures. It's been a lot of fun driving the 28i, I can tell you. Especially when you put it into sport mode, it just sounds a lot better too, besides the fact that it's a more dynamic drive. But the 35i will lead the lineup in India, and that model is something Bala had the chance to drive a few weeks ago. Let's check in on his experience with the Z4.
In fact, this is the range topper that we have next, the S-Drive 35IS. Now the 35i and the 35IS are both 6-cylinder variants, but the 35IS is the more powerful one. Bala drove the Z4 35IS Roadster from Munich to the highest mountain in Austria.
Now you really need a scenic spot like this with the Alps in the backdrop to match the beauty of the Z4 Roadster. Now BMW already sells the Z4 in India in just one variant, but what we're going to see very soon is this, the updated version with some exterior and interior changes. Now BMW clearly believes that this is a car that sells purely on emotions of customers, and that's why they've gone ahead and made this even more beautiful. Now interestingly, the top selling market for the Z4 is China. And that's quite a surprise, isn't it? That's even ahead of Germany and the US. Now in India, the strategy is going to be very different. It's not going to be a volumes driver. It's going to be completely a very niche segment that they're going to target. They're also in talks for product placement for the Z4 Roadster in a Bollywood film.
By the way, the standard bi-xenon twin circular headlights feature LED rings, but what looks really cool is that besides the rings, there's also a new eyebrow shape that's been added to the LED daytime running lights. The striking Valencia orange is similar to what you saw recently on the Jaguar F-Type and was also BMW's launch color for the refreshed X1 in India a few months ago. The Valencia orange comes as a part of BMW's Design Pure Traction trim option, which basically means that you also get plenty of orange tastefully complementing black on the inside of this two-seater. The black leather seats get orange contrast stitching, and the bespoke Alcantara door panel trim is also in orange. The retractable hardtop roof on this car is black non-metallic to match the orange, and then there was the Glacier silver metallic on the car that I was driving. This has now been developed to be opened or closed on the move, and of course that's at slower speeds below 30 km per hour. Pretty neat, huh? Out on the smooth Austrian roads, the 35IS's turbocharged 3-litre petrol engine roars its way through with minimal effort. Rear-wheel drive adds to the fun, especially on these winding roads, and keeps the driver engaged with a quick response that's generated. The car's steering is super quick. So quick, in fact, that the rest of the car almost has trouble keeping pace, meaning there are some sore points on the driving dynamics. So like we said, the Z4 comes with 5 engine options, with BMW's twin-power turbo technology on board all of them. The S-Drive 35IS, though, generates a massive 340 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. The 6 cylinders have the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission for company. The 35IS also has an overboost function which gives you an extra 50 Nm of torque, taking it to a wonderful 500 Nm. The 35IS is also slightly longer and lower compared to the 35i or the rest of the range due to its M Sport package. BMW will launch the updated Z4 in India by the end of this year. Even though I enjoyed the 4-cylinder 2-litre 28i, I believe that BMW will want to go all the way and offer only the 6-cylinder twins, since this car will be a direct import and therefore pricey anyway.
Joining us here on the show, we've got with us a very special guest today. It's the man who heads the Lamborghini business, Mr. Stefan Winkelmann. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
And welcome here in New Delhi. It's nice to always catch up with you, but here in India makes it a little special. What brings you here is also good news. We do have now a new store opening here in Delhi for the brand. So give us a sense of that. I mean, it's a change of strategy over the last year that we've been seeing. What is the plan? How's it working out for you?
Well, I think this is the right time to come to New Delhi with a new partner, because it's about the quality of the partner which is leading us into the opening of a new showroom. So our strategy is now based on 2 dealers. We are looking for a third one in the south where we see opportunities, further opportunities, and I think this is going to be in the city of Bangalore.
In terms of product, there is, of course, a lot of excitement around the two model lines, but the replacement model that you mentioned also for the Gallardo, that's going to be something very keenly watched, possibly here in India too. I think a lot of your potential customers are waiting.
But I hope so, because this is a very important car. The Gallardo is the volume maker for Lamborghini. It's the car which made the difference of our brand, of our company. And the new one is, again, a big player for Lamborghini, and it's going to be very important. And the customers are waiting for this car. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that this will going to be a big success, as well as, or like the one the Aventador was 2.5 years ago.
You know, the reason why it becomes interesting when it comes to a brand like yours is also because there's already so much that has been done with the current model. You know, it's pushed the envelope on performance. It's the latest iteration you showed at Frankfurt, yet again, very extreme performance. How much better can it get is the question, I guess.
But this is the most performance-oriented car we have shown in Geneva. Yeah. And I think that after 10 years, we did the right thing because we kept the balance of the production without running for the peaks, but having always a good momentum, having always surprises coming up, light versions, open versions, two-wheel drive versions. So always something new to talk about, and always surprising our customers and the fans of the brand. And this is what, let's say, it's all about, because it has to be a dream car. It has to be something you are willing to spend money.
I remember the Superleggera when it first came out. That was a fun car again to drive. You spoke about volumes earlier and how you have to balance them. The one thing I think everybody always asks you wherever you go the last few months is about the Urus, where you might go with that. That's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Yes, I think so, because this, if we enter the third model lineup, then it has to be a model which is not a niche of the niche. It has to be something where it's an everyday car, or can be used as an everyday car. And for sure the SUV is the most emotional four-door segment we're having at time being. So I think this is the right choice, and in terms of volume, this will really make a big difference for Lamborghini.
But in that sense, because it is something so different for you as a brand, in terms of development also, would you have a different approach? You know, maybe more synergies with Audi, or more technological differences between what you've done so far and what happens in the future?
But for sure, we will use the maximum synergies possible of the Volkswagen Group for a third model. This is one of the key messages. On the other side, Lamborghini has not always been only a super sports car brand.
That's true.
The starting point was GT cars. There were the 2+2 like the Espada, and there was the LM, which was the first luxury SUV ever.
The question also being asked very often, and here in India, I can tell you a lot of your brand fans, when does that car come to the market?
In
I know
4
I
years'
always
time.
ask you.
In 4 years' time. So it's not going to be before 2017.
What is the rationale behind that? Now that you have, when you first showed us the concept, I know you gave us the explanation as to why you felt the need to do such a design study. You've had the time now to absorb a lot of reactions from different markets, from different potential customers. Where do you stand on that today? I mean, how much confidence does it give you to approach this particular project?
But the confidence only increased after the showing of the concept car. But I have to say that our ideas were the right ones, where the key markets are. That is a well-balanced segment all over the planet, and this is one of the key things we need to have. There will be markets which now are pretty small, which then are going to be much bigger just due to a car like this, and this is, I think, a good sign.
You're sitting in one such market, I think, right now.
I hope so, yeah.
That's the thing, right? I mean, when it comes to a market like India, not just the SUV, but in general, what is the kind of potential that you see? Because we've heard this for so many years now, that India holds a lot of potential. Yes, we've had economic issues, we've had infrastructure issues holding it back, but for the long term, 5-10 years from now, do you see a very different picture?
It depends a lot on how the economic situation is going to develop, how these cars are going to be accepted, or how much we are able, let's say, to normalize the behavior of everybody in terms of the super sports cars here in India. They have to be happy and proud to show it, and for sure they have to have the opportunities to drive it. At time being, the 30-40 cars is more or less what I see as an annual volume. A big step on top of that, at time being, I don't know, I have to admit. I don't see the big explosion coming from one day to the other. I know that there are enough high net individuals which will be able. I know also that a lot of Indians are buying the cars outside of India, in Europe, in other Asian countries, in the Middle East. So this is also one of the points we are observing very closely.
I wish you safe travels from here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finished in frozen silver metallic. This is the beautiful M6 Grand Coupe, and I thought you'd like to see a glimpse of it because a few days ago on the program, Sachin Tendulkar was talking about his new car. Well, this is it. Not the same color, but this is that same model. And you know what? It looks stunning. It's getting all this crowd attention here as well. And we thought that you'd like to have a quick look at it. Time for us to take a short break here on the program. We show you very much more from where I'm standing on the other side. Welcome back to CNB. Now we're inside the Welt. The BMW Welt is somewhere we brought you before, but you know, the last time I was here, there was a lot of renovation on because unlike the past where it was all about just the BMW brand, now it's the other brands as well that are accommodated in here. So now that I'm here, I thought I might as well give you a glimpse. This is the one that's getting all the attention. It's the i brand, the BMW i. Electric and hybrid cars are getting all that attention. So let me just show you a glimpse of these before I show you that promised facelifted 5 Series. And we'll also walk you through Mini and Rolls-Royce.
The i3 has already seen a production debut a few weeks ago. We showed you that on CNB. This urban mobility concept uses a carbon fiber tub body and has an all-electric plug-in drivetrain. Upstairs is the much talked about hybrid sports car, the i8. On display in its concept avatar a la Mission Impossible, this hybrid is expected to have superior handling and staggeringly good performance. Cannot wait to drive this one.
After the 7 Series a few months ago, it's the turn of the 5 Series to go under the scalpel and get a bit of a facelift. Europe got it this summer and we will be getting it in just a few days' time. In fact, pretty much next week is when we'll have the car in India. What you're seeing though is a car that looks exactly like the earlier 5 Series. When you say facelift, you expect lots of significant changes, but the changes are so subtle, they have to look really hard. There's a very slight change in the front grille. The front bumper has been redesigned as well. And in the headlamp, the housing, what you see here, the little dip in the metal, that's new. And inside the headlamp, there's a very new, different kind of a metal pattern that's been thrown in. I quite like that because, you know, the car had a slightly boring look and that kind of livens it up a little bit. So I like that. Along the side, you pick up this badge. Now, luxury, remember, the 5 Series never had the 3 model lines or the trim variants like the 3 Series introduced. So now the 5 Series has it too. And so you've got luxury, modern, and you've got sport. In India, I expect luxury and sport, just like the 3 Series. I don't expect modern, which are the light, really light beiges and light woods, those kind of tones. The taillight cluster, full LED, that's been updated just a little bit. Again, you can't really tell the difference. In the rear bumper, though, you see this little creasing here. And overall, the bumper tends to look a little wider and makes the car look nice and wide. So that's a bit of a change again in the car. But the point being that you can't really pick up on too many of those changes. On the inside, the luxury trim, it does become a little more apparent because you've got these dark leathers. And the iDrive knob, well, that's the bigger one. So that's the updated iDrive system. That's the changes on the new 5 Series sedan.
So the 5 Series has been tweaked, only so. The LED indicators integrated into the side rearview mirrors are also new, by the way. As you would have guessed, in India, the highlight will be the new trim lines and not much else. The launch is on the 10th of October, so if you're booking a 5 Series, wait just a few days longer. The Welt now houses the complete BMW family. So besides the BMW individual range, the M Sporty range, and yes, BMW i, you also have an exclusive Rolls-Royce display and a rather fun and funky mini display area too. Mini in particular lights things up with its vivid and different character and has the complete model lineup on display in a quirky, colorful style.
I was just trying to Shazam the song that's coming out of this car. Girlfriend by Icona Pop. That's the kind of music you expect from Mini. This is the latest addition to the Mini family, the Paceman. And this is now getting the John Cooper Works juiced up avatar going as well for the overall range. Now, the Mini Pavilion here is just like the song. It's all about funky beats and really fun colors and lots of excitement and happiness. So you see the entire family here on display. And I thought this was a nice note to end the show on. React to what you've seen on the program today. You know how to get in touch with me, and I shall wait for your feedback and also be planning something exciting for you on the show next week. So stay tuned to NDTV, plenty coming up, and please wear your seatbelts. Bye-bye.
Get a chance to witness DTM live with Lewis Hamilton. Answer 3 simple questions on ndtv.com/A-Class and enjoy a ride with Lewis Hamilton in Germany. Mercedes-Benz presents A for Adrenaline contest exclusively on NDTV. Participate now.